we're not supposed to spy on the opposition party. It's not supposed to happen that way. But we know this began with Barack Obama. He was involved in doing this with journalists like Cheryl Atkinson and James Rosen. Those journalists were spied on. Their emails were investigated. So every time I hear a story like this, I'm like, it just seems like another part of it. I don't think we've seen nearly all of it. What do you believe?
I think this is the tip of the iceberg, Steve, 100%. I mean, these 9 senators only found out that they were getting spied on because a junior person at the FBI went to renew her CAS, training and submitted as proof of her competency to obtain warrants through the system this particular case. And so it got on everybody's radar, and now no doubt they're doing a deep dive, because I'm convinced a lot of the stuff here was deleted and destroyed by the outgoing administration. The real issue here is that you had the Biden executive branch of government spying on the legislative branch of government. There's supposed to be a separation of powers. This is something that our founders felt very strongly about. And clearly that was not going on here. And these 9 senators, a lot of information can be tracked based on who you're calling, where your phone is, what the length of the calls are, and all of that. And the predicate for this was a completely phony investigation into, January 6th and Trump-Russia collusion and all this nonsense. So I think this is a huge problem for Jack Smith and every person at the FBI and DOJ that was involved.
Well, we already know that James Comey is in legal jeopardy, but I haven't heard too many people talk about Christopher Wray. If Christopher Wray had his hands in this cookie jar, what is his legal exposure?
Well, he could end up going down with the rest of them, right? Because there's absolutely no way that, and it's not just Christopher Wray, by the way, it's the Attorney General, it's Merrick Garland. In order to obtain warrants against senators, sitting U.S. senators, this had to be signed off at the very top. And the documents that I want to see, that I'd love to, get my hands on the warrant applications, because I will bet you, Steve, that they are defective, that they present lies to the court, that they're based on knowing false information. So I mean, right. That's where the devil's gonna get them is these. I am convinced that these warrants were obtained under false pretenses, and it's going to take some time to dig through it and find them. But it could go all the way. It could go all the way up beyond Wray. It could go to Merrick Garland.
Sure,
bad stuff.
Well, and Sam, we know that they have experience lying to get warrants. That's what happened with the FISA courts. We're aware of that. The judges were aware of that. They did nothing about it, which was shocking to me. But this is part of the playbook. It seems, put forth bogus information, obtain search warrants and subpoenas or whatever else you need to, again, go after your political opponents. This is the same crew, by the way, that now accuses the Trump administration of weaponizing the intel community and government. Please.
Exactly.
Talk about the pot calling the kettle black. It's pretty obvious. These guys are well versed in how to do this and how to game the system, potentially illegally, right?
Well, you're exactly right. And, I think not enough. I think that the lying on these warrants goes deep at the Biden DOJ. They learned their tricks under Obama. It's all the same people. They were all left in there. And now, I think sunlight, daylight is the best disinfectant. We've got to clean this up. And it's wrong if Democrats do it. It's wrong when Republicans do it. This is just not America. This is what they do in Russia. This is what they did in the Soviet Union. This is terrible stuff. And nobody can defend this with a straight face. And so Democrats, to the extent that they do try to minimize this, and I've seen a number of commentators and political folks trying to put paint a pretty picture here. I don't think it's there. And I think the more that we pull at this little yarn, we're going to find that there's really a lot of ugly here legally for them.